A major decision of the Supreme Court on the minority issue, it should be determined at the state level and not the district, told district-wise identity against the law. Unlike the Delhi High Court, the Supreme Court approved abortion. It is necessary to change the provisions of the MTP Act, interpretation of Section 3 of the law in a new form. Deputy Chief of Naval Staff visits CMF headquarters, joining announced during 2+2 dialogue. The aim is to serve the interests of the Indian Ocean. Indian economy can get boost from tourism. It is expected to cross $42 billion by 2024, claims Outbound Travel and Tourism report. Wrong orbit entry of 2 satellites of SSLV. Reason given was the failure of the sensor. Azadi Sat was launched. Recently, an important decision of the Supreme Court has come to the fore in order to give minority status to Hindus. In this verdict, the Apex Court has dismissed the petition filed citing the TMA Pi Foundation case. Actually, the Hindus do not get minority status in states where they are socially, economically, and politically non-dominant and numerically inferior. The petition had also sought a declaration from the court to identify minorities district-wise. In such a situation, the Supreme Court held that district-wise identification of religious and linguistic minority communities is contrary to the law, and the right to determine the minority community rests with the states. Hence, the court cannot pass general directions to states to bestow certain communities with minority status. Justice U.U. Lalit and S. Ravindra Bhatt also held that in the decision of the 11-judge bench in the TMA Pi Foundation vs. State of Karnataka case in 2002, the power to grant minority status to a community was given to the states besides the centre. According to the TMA Pi Foundation case, a minority can be determined on linguistic or religious grounds only based on the demographics of the state and not based on the population of the whole country. Hence, the states besides the centre should have the right to determine the minority status of a community. The term minority has not been defined in the Constitution of India. However, the Constitution recognizes religious and linguistic minorities. The Government of India has notified Sikhs, Muslims, Christians, Parsis, Buddhists and Jains as minority communities under the Ministry of Minority Affairs. It is noteworthy that the Jain community was accorded minority status in 2014. Recently, the Supreme Court, giving a historic verdict, has urged the central government to make amendments to the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 1971. The Apex Court has also opined that unmarried women need to be covered under the specified conditions of abortion laws, so that these women can get the right to terminate the pregnancy after 20 weeks. Recently, an unmarried woman filed an application in the Delhi High Court in which the victim sought permission from the Delhi High Court to terminate her pregnancy. The court denied permission to terminate the pregnancy, citing the MTP Act. Thereafter, the woman filed an application in the Supreme Court and sought permission to terminate it. The Supreme Court has cited a forward-thinking approach and reinterpreted Clause 3 of the MTP Act, and it granted the woman permission to terminate her pregnancy. In the MTP Act, the upper limit of abortion for pregnant women has been fixed at 24 weeks. However, this upper limit is applicable in the case of a special category of abortion. It includes rape victims, vulnerable women, malformed fetuses, disabled and minors, etc. However, this act does not allow unmarried women between 20 and 24 weeks pregnant to have an abortion with the help of a registered medical practitioners. Furthermore, Section 3 of the MTP Act 1971 allows termination of pregnancy up to 20 weeks with the help of a registered medical practitioner. However, it applies to women who have conceived due to failure of family planning equipment. Actually, This act considers such pregnancies to be a cause of mental agony and puts such pregnancies in the category of serious injury. The Apex Court, while interpreting the term mental agony, has argued that mental health is a comprehensive part of the expression and right to life. In such a scenario, the benefit of termination of pregnancy based on mental agony should also be given to those women whose pregnancy period is between 20 to 24 weeks. After the recent verdict of the Apex Court, simplifying the stringent provisions of the MTP Act will become easier. Recently, a resolution was passed by the Manipur Legislative Assembly to implement NRC, that is, National Register of Citizens, and set up a state population commission. It aims to protect the local people from encroachment by the increasing number of non-locals. MLA Kumukam Joy Kishan has introduced this resolution on the last day of the budget session of the Manipur Assembly. Earlier in July 2022, about 19 major tribal groups and their allies had written a letter to the Prime Minister and the Home Minister demanding NRC and other mechanisms. MLA Joy Kishan claims that India's population growth rate has been 120% between 2001 and 2011. During the same period, the population growth rate of the hill districts of Manipur was around 251%, while the population growth rate in Imphal and Jiribam Valley districts were 125%. It is noteworthy that the hill districts of Manipur are mainly inhabited by the scheduled tribes, while the valley districts are inhabited by the non-scheduled tribe Meitei. Hence, it has been claimed that the unusual population growth rate of the hill districts is due to the huge infiltration of immigrants. On the other hand, it is also being feared that small local communities are on the verge of extinction. A large section of the hill dwellers belonging to the Kuki-Chin group of Myanmar has settled in the adjoining region of Manipur. Their numbers have increased after the military coup in Myanmar in February 2021. The term Chin is used for the people of the Chin province of the neighboring state of Myanmar, while the Chin people in the Indian region are called Kuki. NRC is the register in which the information of all Indian citizens is recorded. It was prepared after the 1951 census. It is applicable in only those states where citizens of other countries are likely to enter India. Based on the NRC report, it is decided which person is Indian and who is not Indian in a particular area. Till now, NRC is applicable only in Assam in India. Recently, the Lok Sabha passed the Energy Conservation Amendment Bill 2022. Its main aim is to establish a domestic carbon credit market in India. Moreover, a provision has been made in the bill to meet the energy requirements from renewable sources for large residential buildings with an electricity connection of at least 100 kW. The building proposes using non-fossil sources including green hydrogen, green ammonia, biomass, and ethanol to meet energy needs. Under the passed bill, carbon savings certificate will be issued to promote efforts made for using clean energy. In addition, the bill also provides for additional incentives like carbon credits for clean energy use to the private sector. Carbon credit means that no country or industry can emit carbon dioxide more than a certain limit or any other greenhouse gas equivalent to it. The fixed limit of carbon emission is called carbon credit. One carbon credit is equal to 1 ton of carbon dioxide or any other greenhouse gas similar to it. According to the 2015 Paris Agreement, a country can emit as many tons of greenhouse gas as it has carbon credits. In the Energy Conservation Amendment Bill 2022, a provision has been made for establishing a carbon market for trading carbon credits. In this market, the industries having additional carbon credits can sell their carbon credits, and the industry exceeding the limit of carbon emissions will be able to buy carbon credits. The buying and selling of carbon credits is called carbon trading. In this way, the carbon market allows the trading of carbon credits with the overall aim of reducing emissions. According to a recent IPBES, that is, the Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services report, about 1 million species of animals and trees in the world are on the verge of extinction. These include giraffes, parrots, oak trees, cactuses, and seaweeds, etc. The report holds deforestation for industry and agriculture, the use of forest wood as fuel, and forest fires as responsible for the same. The inclusion of seaweed in this list is surprising as seaweeds are known to survive in the most difficult conditions on Earth. Actually, some seaweed varieties are about 1.6 billion years old. Seaweeds play a cardinal role in marine ecosystems. They provide habitat and food for marine life, while larger varieties of seaweeds serve as underwater nurseries for fishes like kelp. However, seaweeds are becoming extinct due to mechanical interferences, rising sea temperatures, and the construction of infrastructure on the coast. Furthermore, giraffes are on the verge of extinction due to hunting. Their habitats are getting degraded due to continuous deforestation and increasing demand for agricultural land. It is estimated that only 600 West African giraffes are left in the world at present. According to the IUCN Red List, 31% of the world's 430 types of oak trees are on the verge of extinction. Oak is a tree of the Quercus genus of the Fagaceae family. There are about 400 varieties of oaks in the world. Oak woods are extremely strong and are used in construction. IPBES is an independent, intergovernmental body. It consists of 139 member governments. It was founded on 21st April 2012 in Panama City. It provides policymakers with the scientific assessment they need to protect biodiversity, ecosystems, and important natural assets. Recently, researchers from IISc, that is, Indian Institute of Science, have conducted a study on peninsular rock agama. This study has revealed that factors such as habitat loss and urbanization have affected the population of rock agamas in Bengaluru city and its surrounding rural areas. This study suggests that the area where rock agamas reside should be identified for conserving this species. Actually, peninsular rock agama is a type of garden lizard. It is found in large numbers in South India. Its scientific name is Psammophilus dorsalis. It is orange and black in color. They do not generate heat from their bodies, so they need to seek the warmth from external warm sources such as a hot rock or wall. Rock agamas' presence can indicate which parts of the city are becoming hotter. Similarly, the changes in the food web can be understood with the help of the number of rock agamas. Researchers are of the view that since these lizards eat insects, they cannot survive in places where there are no insects. Significantly, insects are important components of a healthy ecosystem as they perform various other functions, including pollination. Therefore, peninsular rock agama can be a good model system for understanding other aspects of ecosystem. Recently, ISRO stated that the first flight of the newly developed SSLV, that is, Small Satellite Launch Vehicle, can be considered partially successful. Actually, 2 satellites launched by SSLV have entered the wrong orbit due to sensor failure. These satellites were to enter into a circular orbit. Instead, they entered into an elliptical orbit. Consequently, these satellites are no longer usable. The name of the recently launched rocket was SSLV-D1. It carried satellites weighing around 145 kg. In its maiden SSLV mission, the launch vehicle carried the Earth Observation Satellite EOS-02 and the co-passenger student satellites Azadi SAT. SSLV had suffered data loss in its terminal stage after performing as expected in all stages. EOS-02 is an experimental optical remote sensing satellite. It belongs to the microsatellite series of spacecrafts. Moreover, Azadi-Sat is a satellite built under Space Kids India, which was developed together by 750 girl students from different schools and colleges. It was built to commemorate 75 years of India's independence. The weight of this satellite was 8 kg. It carried 75 different payloads, each weighing around 50 grams. SSLVs are relatively small rockets. Satellites are usually launched into low Earth orbit and SSO, that is the Sun synchronous orbit, through SSLVs. The weight of SSLVs is relatively less. It takes about 72 hours to integrate or assemble SSLVs. On the contrary, it takes about 70 days to integrate or assemble launch vehicles like PSLVs. Earlier space buses were used for carrying small satellites and they were sent through PSLVs. Now, such small satellites can be easily sent through SSLVs. The world had just heaved a sigh of relief from the COVID pandemic that another new zoonotic virus has been found in China. The name of this new virus is Langat Singh virus. This virus has been found in Shandong and Henan provinces of China. It was discovered in eastern China during a surveillance trials of patients who had a fever due to exposure to animals. Henipair viruses are classified as biosafety level 4 pathogens. This virus can cause severe diseases in animals and humans. The matter of concern is that till now no licensed drug or vaccines are available for humans. According to reports, about 35 people in China have been infected with this virus so far. According to scientists, the Henipair viruses that have been known so far include Hendra, Nipah, Cedar, Mojiang, and Ghanaian bat viruses. Out of these viruses, only Hendra and Nipah virus can infect humans. The genome sequence of Langat virus is similar to other Henipair viruses, but Mojiang bears more resemblance to Henipair virus. During surveillance testing, symptoms such as fever, weakness, phlegm, and nausea have been observed in people infected with the Langat virus. Moreover, shrews are considered to be the natural host of this virus. The diseases which spread from animals to humans are called zoonotic diseases. It means that when a person comes into contact with the infected animal, then the viruses present in the animals enter the person's body. Recently, India's Deputy Chief of Naval Staff, Shri Sanjay Mahindra, visited the Bahrain headquarters of CMF, that is, Combined Maritime Forces. His visit has been described as the first major step by India towards joining CMF as associate support. However, the mode of action of CMF associate support is yet to be determined. Actually, India-US 2+2 dialogue was held in April 2022. During this dialogue, Defence Minister Shri Rajnath Singh had announced that India is going to join CMF as associate support. The objective of being part of this is to serve India's interest in the Indian Ocean through comprehensive military diplomacy. Besides, regional security cooperation in the Western Indian Ocean will also enhance after joining CMF as associate support. Countries that receive associate support status have limited commitments in terms of resources and personnel, and these are determined based on the needs. CMF was established in 2001 and its headquarters are located in Bahrain, West Asia. Initially, CMF had 12 members, which has reached to 34 members at present. It is a multinational maritime partnership organization that promotes security, stability, and prosperity in the international maritime region. Presently, its scope has been expanded to prevent terrorist activities, anti-smuggling operations, and prevention of piracy. CMF is commanded by the Vice Admiral of the US Navy. At present, 4 combined task forces are functioning under CMF. CTF 150 workers for maritime security operations outside the Arabian Gulf. CTF 152 works for maritime security operations inside the Arabian Gulf. Besides, CTF 151 works for counter-piracy and CTF 153 works for maritime security in the Red Sea. CTF 153 was established in April 2022. Recently, a report titled Outbound Travel and Tourism, an Opportunity Untapped has been released. This report has been prepared by Nangia Anderson LLP in association with FICCI. It is noteworthy that this report is focusing on the Indian travel market, in which shocking figures related to India's outbound tourism have been revealed. Basically, outbound tourism means tourism trips made outside the country concerned. According to the report, India's outbound tourism is expected to cross $42 billion by 2024. The report claims that the Indian outbound travel market is one of the fastest growing markets globally. The report cited a growing economy, youth population, and the presence of a middle class as main reasons owing to which the middle class in particular can own about 80 million passports. In this report, the government has been advised to make some policy changes to promote this market. The report says steps like promoting Indian firms dealing in outbound travel, making direct connections to popular destinations, and operating foreign cruise ships in Indian maritime areas need to be initiated by the government. Besides, allowing foreign cruise ships to operate in India will boost both inbound and outbound tourism. Moreover, revenue for Indian ports will also increase. As per the report, Europe sees 20% of the travelers from India's outbound traffic. 10% travel to Australia and New Zealand. Apart from this, the rest of the Indian tourists prefer to visit Southeast Asia. As per the report, Indians spent around $12.6 billion on outbound trips in 2021, while in 2019 this figure was $22.9 billion. However, the reason for decrease in spending could be attributed to the spread of COVID pandemic. Recently, UNESCO has denied the inclusion of the Observatory located in the Langat Singh College in Endangered Heritage List. It was reported in the media and newspapers that UNESCO has included the Observatory of Langat Singh College in the Endangered Heritage List. However, now UNESCO has denied this news. Langat Singh College is located in the Muzaffarpur district of Bihar. It was established in 1899. Significantly, the Langat Singh College campus was built on the lines of Oxford University, and the college's observatory was established about 106 years ago. It was established in 1916. According to college records, in February 1914, Professor Romesh Chandra Sen of the college had discussions with J. Michel to set up an astronomical observatory. J. Michel was the then principal of the Vesalian College, Bankura, West Bengal. After this discussion, the college purchased the telescope, viewing glasses, finder, and some other equipment from England in 1915. An astronomical clock and chronograph were also purchased for the observatory. The observatory started functioning in 1916. Later in 1919, assistance was also sought from the Survey of India to improve the observatory. It is worth mentioning that this is the first planetarium in Bihar and one of the few oldest planetariums in India, which is located on a college or university campus. This observatory stopped functioning in the 1980s. In 1995, some equipment was stolen from the observatory, after which it was sealed. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, J.B. Kriplani, Ramdhari Singh Dinkar, I.J. Tarapurwala, W.D. Smith, and H.R. Ghoshal were associated with the Langat Singh College. It is said that Mahatma Gandhi stayed in this college during the Champaran Satyagraha. UNESCO is an international organization. It works towards peace building through international cooperation in education, science, and culture. UNESCO's programs contribute to the achievements of the Sustainable Development Goals defined in Agenda 2030, adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in 2015. Recently, a volcano that had erupted last year in Reykjavik, the capital of Iceland, has erupted once again. A large number of people are visiting Reykjavik to see the lava emanating from this volcano. The name of the volcano is Fagradalsfjall volcano. It is located in the Fagradalsfjall mountain. It is worth mentioning that Fagradalsfjall mountain is located on the Reykjavik peninsula. It is located 32 kilometers southwest of the capital of Reykjavik. The Fagradalsfjall mountain was formed in the last glacial period on the Reykjavik peninsula. It is also known as Fagradalsfjall wider volcanic system. It covers an area of 5 kilometers in width and 16 kilometers in length between the Svartsengi and Kreiuvik systems. Iceland is located above a volcanic hotspot in the North Atlantic. On average, a volcanic eruption takes place in Iceland every 4 to 5 years. The most disruptive Eyjafjallajökull volcano erupted in Iceland in 2010. The highest summit in this area is Lahgol. Hekla and Laki are active volcanoes in Iceland. The volcanoes are related to the movement arising from the endogenous force of the earth. Under this, magma originates from the melting of peridotite in the inner layers of the earth. When this magma reaches the earth's surface, breaking the inner layers of the earth, then it is called lava. Besides lava, gas, ash, and liquids also reach the earth's surface during volcanic eruptions. Noteworthy, maximum water vapor is released in the volcanic eruption. Now, let us look at the 5 questions based on the bulletin.
First question is, consider the following statements with reference to the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. 1. Under this act, the upper limit of abortion for pregnant women has been fixed at 24 weeks. 2. It provides for termination of pregnancy due to failure of family planning equipment. Which of the above statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. Next question is, consider the following statements. 1. Combined Maritime Forces or CMF was established in 2001. 2. Its headquarters is located in Bahrain. 3. CMF is a multinational maritime naval partnership organization. 4. At present, the number of CMF members is 12. Which of the above statements are correct? All 1, 2, 3 and 4, 3 and 4 only, 1 and 3 only, or 1, 2 and 3 only. Next question is, consider the following statements with reference to Outbound Travel and Tourism and Opportunity Untapped. 1. According to the report, 20% of the tourists arriving in Europe are related to Indian outbound tourism. 2. The report focuses on the Indian travel market. 3. According to the report, the Indian outbound travel market is one of the fastest shrinking markets in the world. Which of the above statement or statements is or are incorrect? 2 and 3 only, 3 only, 2 only, or all of the above? Next question is, consider the following statements. 1. Large varieties of seaweed act as underwater nurseries for fish. 2. The IUCN Red List includes 330 types of oak trees in the world. 3. The Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, that is IPBES, comprises the governments of 139 countries. Which of the above statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 1 and 3 only, 2 and 3 only, or all of the above? Last question is, consider the following statements. 1. Phagra Dausfiak mountain is located on the Regenz Peninsula. 2. Mountains are related to the movement arising from both endogenous and exogenous forces of the earth. 3. Iceland is located on the top of a volcanic hotspot in the North Atlantic. Which of the above statement or statements is or are incorrect? 2 only, 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, or none of the above? Recently, India has designated 10 new wetlands as Ramsar sites. Consequently, the total number of wetland sites in India has increased from 54 to 64. Of the designated 10 new sites, 6 are located in Tamil Nadu, while the rest of the 4 sites are located in Goa, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh and Odisha. India is one of the parties to the agreement signed under the Ramsar Convention held in Ramsar, Iran in 1971. India has signed this agreement on 1st February 1982. Recently, the Guwahati High Court has asked the centre and the Assam government to collectively decide whether to appoint ministerial staff for the newly appointed members of the Foreigners Tribunal or not. The Foreigners Tribunal is a quasi-judicial body. Its function is to determine whether a person residing illegally in India is a foreigner or an Indian. At present, 100 foreigners tribunals are functioning in Assam, India. Judges and lawyers are appointed as members of foreign tribunals under the Foreigners Tribunal Act 1941 and the Foreigners Tribunal Order 1964. Recently, electrochemical scientist N. Kalai Selvi has been appointed as the Director General of the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, that is CSIR. She is the first woman to become the Director General of CSIR. Earlier, she was the Director of the Central Electrochemical Research Institute in Karaikudi, Tamil Nadu. CSIR is a premier public sector research and development organization in India. Recently, Tibetan religious leader Dalai Lama was honored with D-Pal RNGAM Duston, the highest civilian award of Ladakh. This award has been conferred on the Dalai Lama by the Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council. He has been conferred this award for his immense contribution to humanity. The real name of the Dalai Lama is Tenzin Gyatso. He is the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibetan Buddhism. Recently, the Union Cabinet has approved the continuation of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban till 31st December 2024. This scheme was launched in June 2015 for providing housing to every citizen of India. This scheme covers the entire urban area of India, that is, all statutory towns and notified planned or developing areas as per the 2011 census. This scheme aims to provide pakka houses to all eligible urban beneficiaries. The original deadline for this scheme was March 2022. However, it has now been extended to December 2024. The Union Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare launched Lumpy Pro Vacant, an indigenous vaccine to prevent lumpy skin disease. It has been jointly developed by Indian Veterinary Research Institute Bareilly and National Research Center on Equines, Hisar. Actually, a large number of animals were dying due to the fast-spreading lumpy skin disease in India. Lumpy skin disease is a disease caused by the pox viridae virus. The animals infected with lumpy skin disease first get a high fever and then lumps or rashes are formed on their skin. Ultimately, the animal dies. Recently, the Union Cabinet has approved the approval of the 11th additional protocol contained in the Constitution of the Universal Postal Union. This approval enables the Department of Post, Government of India to receive a form of approval signed by the President of India and submit the form to the Director General of the International Bureau of the Universal Postal Union. The Universal Postal Union regulates the exchange of international mail. In addition, it fixes rates for international postal services. It was formed in 1874 and its headquarters is located in Bern, Switzerland. Recently, the Union Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment launched the Smile 75, that is support for marginalized individuals for livelihood and enterprise initiative. Under this initiative, 75 municipal corporations have been identified to implement holistic rehabilitation of beggars. Smile 75 initiative aims to make cities and towns and municipal areas beggar-free. It also aims to chalk out a strategy for holistic rehabilitation of beggars through coordinated effort of various stakeholders. The Indian Air Force conducted a one-month joint exercise with the Egyptian Air Force in July 2022. This exercise was organized under the Tactical Leadership Program. Significantly, this is the first time that a joint exercise has been conducted between the fighter jets of Egypt and India. The Air Forces of India and Egypt have relations since the 1960s. During this event, Captain Kapil Bhargava of Indian Air Force along with pilots from the Egyptian Air Force tested the prototype of Helwan HA-300. Recently, the Minister of State for Finance informed the Lok Sabha that the government has no proposal under consideration to set up the 8th Pay Commission for the central employees. Significantly, 7 pay commissions have been constituted since 1947. The central government constitutes a pay commission after every 10 years to revise the pay structure of the central employees. The 7th Pay Commission was constituted on 28 February 2014. Moreover, the first pay commission in India was constituted in January 1946.